Here's more Midday Kentucky.
Thanks, JC. Well, welcome back to Midday Kentucky, everyone. We are here celebrating LGBTQ community right here in the state of Kentucky, and of course, it's kicking off Pride. Welcome to the show, guys. I really appreciate you all being here.
Yeah.
Guys and gals, I should be saying, not just guys. I don't like it when people just say guys to everyone. Do you?
No.
No, exactly.
No.
All right, let's hear a little bit about the community from a religious perspective. Reverend Marsha Moores Charles is the Senior Minister of Bluegrass United Church of Christ, and she's a board member of Just Fund KY. Marsha, you've been on our show many times, and we love supporting you and the things that you do within our community. So thank you for what you do. I do want to ask you, you've been a resident here in Kentucky for 30 years. What has changed for the good and worse?
Well, I grew up in eastern Kentucky in Appalachia, and then I moved here, so I've been in Lexington for 30 years. And I would say that a lot has changed to the better. Of course, the 1999 Fairness Ordinance really changed Lexington, and it was the second city in Kentucky to have done that. I think awareness, I think education. In recent years, I think the trans education's been much better. We still have a lot of work to do. Of course, marriage equality was huge. But I predicted that there would be a new backlash after that happened. And lots of folks said because that was legislated and not voted on by the population that they would push back on that. And in my opinion, I have seen some pushback and some new sort of waves of the right that are really unhappy with that and want to take other rights away.
The most important decisions and initiatives that have happened, how does that, tell us about them?
Well, I think the Fairness Ordinance for Lexington was the most important, and as you said, I'm a board member of Just Fund Kentucky, and we've distributed over $300,000 in grants all across the Commonwealth, from Pikeville to Paducah, we say, for grassroots work, and it's very rewarding to see these grants and to know that there are people all over our Commonwealth that are doing things and educating, from anti-bullying to nursing home rights.
I got you. All right. If you were to list the top 3 issues that you believe to be on the horizon for the LGBTQ community in terms of challenges to be faced, what would they be? I'd like you all to chime in on this, please.
So I'll get started with that.
Of course you will be, Mr. Politician.
You know, the biggest 3 things that we are facing, you have what's called municipal preemption, which is what Marsha touched on, that state governments, federal governments are trying to take away the power of cities to pass non-discrimination ordinances that protect sexual orientation and gender identity. The second part is, you've heard the term, we hear it constantly, is bathroom legislation, where legislators in our state capitals are trying to legislate where people can use the facility to take care of that. And the third thing that's going to touch on with John, with AVAL, is HIV criminalization. And we have a massive effort in Frankfort, in our state legislature, to try to criminalize HIV, and our laws are already some of the toughest in the country when it comes to HIV criminalization.
Give people at home who don't understand what that means some examples.
Criminalization, if you, for example, I were to spit on you, and somehow you would be treated as a criminal or I would be treated as a criminal because I would be presumed to have HIV and I would be spreading it around. However, it's very not likely to transmit in that type of contact, but some of the laws... Not likely, or isn't
not at all. You cannot.
And some of the laws that are being sort of talked about would say, oh, we should be afraid of that. And it goes back to stigma and not understanding how it's transmitted to other people.
Tuesday?
It's sort of like our president, where he came out and said that he didn't want transgender people serving in the military. And it's, at my age, I'm not going to join the military. But what it does, it knocks us down to a second-class citizen. And people see us as being defective. And I think that's what a lot of these laws, such as the HIV criminalization, it makes us perceived as being less than a first-class citizen of the United States. Even though many of us have served in the military, even though most of us have all paid taxes and work a job and volunteer, we do a lot of things for our community, Yet, we
don't
want
have
there,
the
there's
same.
people who want to perceive us as
I got
second-class
you.
citizens.
I got you. I hear you. Back after this short break, everyone, you're watching Midday Kentucky.